This is a K&F concept camera backpack, and it's called the Beta camera backpack. It's a relatively small backpack as it has a capacity of 20 liters and it weighs 1.55 kilograms. So in terms of size, the height of the backpack in this dimension is 44 centimeters and the width in this dimension is 30 centimeters and the depth in this dimension is 21 centimeters. So I'm gonna open it up and go through all the different pockets. So on the front pocket, this is what you get. So there's a leaflet that comes with it, a rain cover, and there's the partitions. So let me just... So there's two large partitions, which are these L-shaped ones. And there are three smaller ones as well, so these square-shaped ones. So this is the main pocket, and there's a partition here which you can also take off to make it one whole big partition, or you can keep this partition here to keep it as two separate compartments. So here on the opening there's a netted pocket that you can put some stuff in, and there's two separate parts to it. And there's another pocket here as well, which is one big one for putting something small. And that's for the main pocket. And it's worth mentioning that this is a hard shell, so on this side, the front here, and also on the front top part is a hard shell, but those are the only two places where there's a hard shell. So on the sides it's soft, on the bottom is soft, and it's soft everywhere else. And on the top there is a pocket here. So this is one of the things I like about this bag, is that it has two separate sections, and you can also obviously merge them into one section if you wanted to. So on the inside of it there's another netted pocket, so you can put some stuff there. It's good for cables, I guess. And on the back of it you also have two netted pockets. So I tried to actually insert an OM1 camera with a cage attached to it, as well as the 8 to 25mm lens, and that fitted in here. It was a tight fit, but in fact let me show that. Okay, so here I have the OM1 camera, and it has a cage on it and a cold shoe and the 8 to 25mm. So this is a relatively big setup for the OM1 anyway, with the cage. And I can fit this in and close this. So that's fine, and you still have this space here. Although I'm not sure about putting a camera here because you have this extra space and there's no way to partition it off. So if you have a bigger camera, it should be fine, or if you have maybe something like a streaming device or cables. So this top part might be better for putting peripherals as opposed to the camera itself, and then leave the camera for the main compartment of the bag. And then on the right side of the bag, there's this stretchable pocket. So I guess you can put a water bottle in there, or if you wanted to, you could also put a monopod or something like that there. And there's also a zip portion here. So this opens up, and then here you have more of these netted pockets that you can insert something like batteries or memory cards and cables and small stuff like that. And here there's a attachment. So if you did put a monopod in here, then you could tighten it and keep it in place with this. And then on the left side of the bag you have this handle, so you can carry the bag with this handle. And also you have another pocket here which is stretchable, and the pocket on this side is slightly bigger. So I think you could put a small tripod in here. So on the side towards the back here there's the laptop compartment. So the zip goes from the left top to the bottom left. So this is how much it opens. And you can place a 15-inch laptop in here, and there's plenty of padding on the back and on the front to keep it safe. And there's nothing on the bottom, so you have the normal padding of the bag on the bottom. So it doesn't hover above the ground. You have the padding on the bottom of the bag, but that's it in terms of putting the laptop and then dropping your bag on the floor. So just be aware of that. And one thing here is that it has one of these loop things. So if you wanted to attach something there, you could do that to the bottom. And then on the back, you have these chest straps, which the backpacks have. So if it's heavy, you can obviously close the chest strap and also adjust where it's positioned, so you can move it up and down here to whatever is comfortable. And you have these two loops as well for attaching anything extra. And then you have this thing here as well, so if you want to attach it to luggage, then you can do that. And it has the breathing spaces here for your back so that it doesn't get sweaty. And on the bottom there's a pocket. I guess one thing to put in there would be the rain cover. One more thing I wanted to show is that this is the EM1X, so it's a relatively tall camera because it has a double grip, so it has the grip on the bottom and the grip on the side. So you can put this here and this can easily close, so there's no problem with putting a big camera in there. And also this bag is shaped that it actually comes a bit upwards here, so if you actually have the highest part of the camera here, then you could even go substantially higher than this. So just so that you know, you can actually fit a big camera in here like the EM1X. So just as an example of fitting cameras into this backpack, here I have the GH6, and the GH6 is with a camera cage and a cold shoe on top of it, so it's relatively big, and the lens on it is the 12 to 45mm f4. And here I have the OM1 with the 8 to 25mm f4 as well as the half cage on it. And here I have the GH5 Mark II with a body cap lens on it. And here I still have space for another lens or device or battery that I can put there. So that should give you some context in terms of how much you can actually fit into this bag. And it's a small bag, which is good. So it's not that thick on the sides. So if you look from the side, it's not actually that thick. And there's the top part as well. So probably what I do with the top part is I fit my live streaming devices in there. Although the top part is quite big as well, so you can fit a big lens in there or even a camera. The main advantages of this bag is that it's completely black, so it's quite a discreet bag in the sense that when you're carrying a camera backpack, you don't want to advertise that you have expensive equipment in it. So in that sense, this bag is good because it's completely black and it's relatively small and discreet. So that's a good thing. And this is the only branding that you see on the bag itself. Although the rain cover does have the KNF Concept branding. And the other thing which is really good about this camera is that this side and this side have hard casing. So if you have the camera equipment in this bag and you're in a sporting environment and a ball hits the bag, then you don't really need to worry about it actually doing any damage to your equipment because it's a hard shell and it's also angled in this direction. So if something hits it like a ball, then it would roll off to the side, so all the pressure won't be absorbed by the bag and subsequently with the camera equipment that's in there. Now, another thing which is quite good about this bag is that it has two compartments. So even though you can make it into one big compartment, it has two separate compartments. One here for the cameras, which is this one that I've been showing here. And also the top part, which you can put another camera or another lens or live streaming devices or whatever else you have, or just peripherals and cables or batteries and that kind of stuff. And the other thing I like about this bag is that it doesn't open completely. So you have those camera backpacks where the whole front or the whole back opens up completely. I'm not a big fan of those camera backpacks because I think these are actually safer, where you can have two separate compartments and take the equipment out vertically as opposed to having somewhere to put your bag and then open it completely and then take stuff in and out. So as I mentioned before, this camera does have a pocket on the bottom, which I guess is for the rain cover. So it's not a pocket which would be usable for other things because there's still space for things to go in or drop out. So that's why I say it's probably just for the rain cover. And there's nothing on the bottom of the camera. So some cameras have some hard plastic feet, which makes it a bit easier to stand on the ground without worrying it getting wet or anything. So this doesn't have that. The bag itself is weatherproof, so it shouldn't be any problem with the rain anyway, but there's a rain cover for it as well. And the leaflet for the camera backpack has some design suggestions in terms of how to actually put the partitions in there. but obviously you can put the partitions in any way you want that works best for you. And I do wish that they actually had provided more partitions with different shapes so that you can adjust it more flexibly. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this bag or if you want me to talk through any particular aspect of it in more detail.